Yes, guys, what's happening? Going to do a little bit of a different video on the channel today. So Sunday afternoon, start of a new month, 3rd of August today. Thought I'd kick off with a Q&A, everything from travel, Dubai, training, nutrition. I put Q&A up on my Instagram. I think in the final week in July, I got 19 questions through. So I've selected my 10 favorite. I'm going to work through them today. The reason I want to do this, probably do one of these every single month, is just to give you guys a little bit of an insight into my life, tell a little bit more of a story. Obviously, I am pushing the educational side of stuff on the channel quite a bit. I'm getting really good traction off that because that obviously is the bread and butter of the channel, is training, nutrition. But I also want to give you guys a bit of an insight into kind of what I'm doing, my thought processes behind certain things outside of training and nutrition. So these questions, I've chosen 10. They're in no particular order, so I'm just going to work my way through them. This is going to be a one take, completely raw. If you have any questions that you want me to cover for the next Q&A at the end of August, just drop them in the comments below or message me on Instagram, joe_is_fit. If you happen to be new to the channel, my name's Joe. I run an online coaching company called Athletic Aesthetic. I'm based out here in Dubai, and we have a coaching team of 4 coaches. I'm actually the only one in Dubai, and the other guys are based in Australia. We work with professionals. We specialize in helping them manage their routine to drop body fat, build muscle, and smash performance goals. Most of our clients are in America, but we do have a few in the UK and the UAE as well. So first question, as I say, no particular order to these whatsoever. Why did you leave Spain? So if you are not new to the channel and you're a subscriber and you follow me on Instagram, you will have known that for the last couple of years, I have spent the majority of the summer in Spain, and I was actually in Marbella for 4 weeks until almost 2 weeks ago. The reason that I like to go to Spain in the summer is my dad and my family live in Mallorca, so whenever I'm heading to Marbella, which is where I was based this year and for the last couple of years, I like to go and see them first, and obviously it's relatively close to the UK as well. I spend 9 to 10 months of the year in Dubai. That's where I'm based at the moment. But this year I decided to only do 4 weeks in Marbella. I absolutely love Spain. It's probably where I see myself moving when I'm older and I've made all my millions. For now, Dubai is definitely home for me. But Spain, it's a much more relaxed lifestyle. If you've never been to Dubai in the summer, you can't really relate to the heat. It is so intense. I'd say it's the 3rd of August now, and it's like 45 degrees. So for people like me who like to train outside, like to do running, it's nice to have a little bit of a break from it in summer basically, and also just from the intensity of Dubai as well. It's a very intense work environment, which is amazing for growth and progression, but it is good to take some time away. So anyway, rambling a little bit here, but I've spent the last 3 summers in Marbella for some extent of time, and as I say, this time I only did 4 weeks. I just found that I've grown the business a lot this year, and I've absolutely loved the growth. And I just found that when I was in Spain, and more importantly when I was away from Dubai, I was not becoming lazy because I was still getting everything done. Me and my mate had a great routine over there. We trained, we ran every single day. We went out for dinner and a couple of drinks, probably once or twice a week, but everything else was locked in. But for me personally, and I know other coaches can relate to this as well, and entrepreneurs in Dubai, you just push yourself at a different intensity when you live here, whether that's good or bad. Just you're around a lot of materialism, a lot of money, and I think even if you aren't materialistic, it just pushes you in the right direction. And I found that in Spain, I wasn't really around those sorts of people. It's a quote unquote lazier lifestyle. The weather is absolutely amazing, but I just basically found myself craving coming back here and pushing a little bit and putting myself under a bit of pressure. So I decided to cut the summer short, came back here last week, and last week I had probably, well, this week I have had probably the most productive week of work that I've had in a long time, and I'm just really looking forward to the future. And I think part of that, well, it definitely is because of the convenience and just the facilities in Dubai. You know, I can have someone come and clean the apartment in the next half hour. I can have all my food delivered for the week in terms of meal prep and really good quality food for a very affordable price compared to if I was to do it myself. So basically what I'm trying to say, it's great for efficiency. It's great for just delegating and automating things when you really want to just focus on business. And that really is my main priority for the rest of this year. Recently out of a relationship, just really want to focus on myself and push things. So that's why I came back. I have no more travel plans until probably Barcelona marathon in March, Me and my mate are going to be doing the marathon there. Might go back and see family at the end of October, start of November. But until then, just fully focused here, fully locked in, absolutely loving it. Bit of a different one, switching to nutrition. What macros do you stick to? So for myself, similar to other clients, well, similar to the clients that we work with, this is going to depend on what your goals are, what season of the year it is, what you're working towards in terms of performance and body composition. So for me at the moment, I am perfectly happy with the amount of muscle that I have. I'm weighing about 80 kilos at the moment. I reckon I'm probably around 11% body fat. I mentioned before that I'm doing the Barcelona Marathon in March, and if my body can handle it, I'm also going to do the Abu Dhabi Marathon in December. So I actually want to lean down a little bit, drop a little bit of body fat, just so that I'm lighter on my feet, not because I'm trying to improve my composition. Obviously, it is nicer to maintain a leaner physique, but I basically want to get myself down to 78 kg, because the difference for me when I'm running at 80, I feel good and I feel relatively light and I feel fit and fast. But getting down to 78, it's a game changer for me. I feel very light on my feet and I can definitely still maintain a really good amount of muscle there. So those goals determine my macros. So my training split at the moment to maintain muscle and achieve those marathon running goals is 4 strength sessions a week and 4 runs a week. Obviously that is a lot, and I definitely don't do this year round. And I'm aware that a lot of people probably couldn't handle that amount of training, and they also just wouldn't want to. Most of the clients that we work with do not do that amount of training, but obviously it's my job. I like to push myself towards these goals. For the goals that I want to hit with the running, potentially a sub 3 hour marathon next year, I have to run 4 times a week. I'm not going to be able to do that on any less. Strength training wise, I might be better off moving to a 3-day training split closer towards the end of the year, just to give myself more recovery time as the prep for the marathon builds. But to be honest, I like strength training 4 times a week. So that's what I've been doing recently. But anyway, in terms of macros, so to lean down about 2 kg over the next 2 months, I know for me, off that amount of activity and the amount of steps that I do in Dubai, I only hit probably between 10 and 11,000 steps on average over here. Then that is inclusive of the running as well. When I was in Marbella, we were doing closer to 15,000. So my output was much higher and my requirement for food was higher. So I know for me, I'm going to be able to lean down on 3,000 calories per day relatively quickly. I estimate my maintenance is probably closer to 3,250. So it's a little bit of a deficit there. So that's basically what I'm going to stick to for the next 2 months. And if I don't manage to lean down, then I'll have to drop my calories or increase my steps. I'd probably be inclined to increase my steps. But I think that's going to be fine. And I think I'll probably naturally get down to 78 anyway. So my macros are in that. I'm relatively flexible. I aim for a minimum of 190 protein, preferably closer to 200 to 210, just because there's a lot of strength training, it's a lot of running. I want to put myself in the absolute best position to recover and maintain muscle from this high volume of training. My fats are around 80 to 85 grams, a little bit higher than we'd probably recommend for a performance client. You want to have lower fat, higher carbohydrates, but I just feel really, really good on slightly higher fat. And then the rest of those calories will come from carbohydrates, which usually will fall at around 350 to 400. And when I start doing longer runs, and I would consider a long run anything longer than probably 16K, I will be putting in far more carbohydrates the day before those long runs and on the day of the long run as well. So for the next 4 to 8 weeks, focusing on leaning down whilst the running mileage is lower. And then as the running mileage starts to increase, I'll start to put more carbs in there, and I'm hoping to hold around 78 kg. If I start to go lower than 78 kg, I'll increase my calories just because I don't want to be putting myself in too much of a deficit. It's not optimal for what I'm doing. So macros, roughly 200 protein, 80 to 85 fat, the rest coming from carbs. Current training split, I've kind of already just covered that. So 4 strength training sessions and 4 runs. So my split from Monday to Sunday is Monday, upper body, which is probably my least taxing day. I do train every single day. Potentially, I might move to a couple of double days in future to give myself full rest days. But at the moment, this is what I like to do. I like to have some movement day to day. I don't really walk too much in Dubai, drive everywhere. So yeah, I just like to have some movement. But I know some people that would rather double up and have rest days. But I have upper body on a Monday. Tuesday, 8 to 10K easy run in the morning, which is basically just me getting my steps. And then a leg session on Tuesday. interval training session on Wednesday on the treadmill at the moment, and most of the runs are on the treadmill at the moment, to be honest, because it's too hot. Thursday would be another upper body day. Friday would be a longer easy run between 12 and potentially get that up to 16k over the next couple of months if the body is feeling good. Saturday at the moment is another lower day. And then Sunday is a longer aerobic run. That will change in the future. The intensity of the runs will build. And because obviously I'm doing a lot of running, I am doing 2 strength training sessions a week for the lower body. I feel really good on that. I find personally when I reduce my lower body training volume, I start to get injuries and kind of niggles in the lower body, which I guess makes sense because obviously that strength training is helping you maintain strength in the lower body. And I just feel like with the lower body for running, there's a lot of different muscle groups that you need to hit. You need to have a good amount of glute volume in there, a lot of hamstring work, some quad work as well, some calf work, tibialis work. And I would find that it would be very difficult to hit all that in one training session. That's what works well for me. It goes without saying with the lower body, I'm not training that as intensely as I would if I was just bodybuilding and doing strength training. I'm not, using the hack squat and things like that and going to failure. It's a lot of functional movements, but I am trying to progressively overload each week, and it's working well for me. My lower body, I'm quite happy with the size, and I can maintain my lower body size with that amount of volume and that amount of intensity. Why did you move to Dubai? I think I did a video on this probably 2 years ago. It was about my kind of coaching journey, and obviously within that, part of the reason I moved here was to take my career to the next level. So you can definitely look back and watch that video. I might redo that one actually because a lot's changed. But the long and short of it was I was PTing in Newcastle. It's a small city. Everyone knows everyone. I couldn't charge more than £40 an hour realistically there. So for me, it was either London or Dubai to take my fitness and personal training career to the next level. And I love the sun. I like being outside. So for me, the move abroad was the best option. And I'm so glad I did. It's literally changed my entire life, 99% for the better. I've met some amazing people. I have an amazing friendship group now. My career has literally 8x'd in terms of revenue. And it's really helped me. Well, it's really pushed me from a personal development standpoint as well. So the reason back then was take the career to the next level and to be in the sun in a better environment, to be honest. I wasn't earning much money back then. So the tax benefits of Dubai, obviously, if you didn't know, it's completely income tax free. That wasn't really an attraction back then. But obviously now it's allowing me to save a lot of money and either reinvest that back into the business or invest that myself for the future. So it's definitely a bit of a hack. It's definitely not for everyone, and it's very, very intense, and you definitely will sink or swim here. You'll find out whether you're made to do well or not, but I'm so happy, and I'm definitely going to be here for the foreseeable. I was thinking last year that I might want to move to Spain in a few years, but definitely not right now. I think that's for later on in life. So if you have any questions about Dubai and moving, definitely let me know. Drop me a message on Instagram, because I have been here for 3 years now, and I feel like I've experienced pretty much everything that a self-employed business owner would in terms of sorting out accountants, visas, accommodation, travel, all that sort of stuff. How long have you been a coach for? So I think almost just over 5 years. I put an Instagram post up on my story a few weeks ago in Marbella. So I've technically had my personal training qualification for I think 5 years and 3 months. And that's when I started online coaching as well. I wasn't online coaching before PT. So 5 years. And to give you a very short insight into that, I got my personal training qualification online throughout COVID, and then personal trained at a private facility in Newcastle where we worked with corporate clients, helping them with body composition, weight loss, and rehabbing injuries. I naturally built up a little bit of an online client base when I started doing that, just because I had a good Instagram account of about 5,000 followers. So I've always been managing between probably 15 to 30 online clients before I went all in on online. I think I worked at that gym for a year. Then I moved to a fully freelance facility where I had control over my whole client base, because at the other gym I was training some of my own clients and I was also being paid to train some of the gym's clients. So I went fully freelance, which was a bit of a risk, but the rent at that gym was incredibly affordable. So 95% of what I was earning was profit. So it was a really, really good move. And yeah, it was a good move. I was around younger people. It could probably push me in the right direction. But again, I felt like after I'd done a year there, I was ready to go, which is why I started looking elsewhere between London and Dubai. And for me, obviously, chose Dubai at the end. So yeah, 5 years. And I think I'm going to be doing this forever, to be honest, whether it's, online coaching for body composition. I'll probably move more into the health optimization space in a few years' time as I naturally get older. But yeah, I love coaching. I don't want to just be a coach. I like building the brand. I like doing the marketing. I like managing the team. But I will 100% work with, I think, minimum of 20 clients myself for years to come. I do love it. I'm interested in coaching, but not sure I'm right for your program. So I assume, well, this person obviously was from Instagram because they asked the question on Instagram, but I would say, we obviously post the highlight reel on Instagram. We post the best transformations, the best performance results, the best feedback from the clients. And if someone asked me who is your ICA, your ideal client avatar, I would say probably a 35-year-old male living in the US who has trained for 10 to 15 years himself, maybe had some personal training experience. They maintain an average to good physique, so probably around the 15% body fat range, but they want to take it to the next level. They want to get down closer to 10%. They want to build lean muscle mass. They want to optimize their nutrition. They want to optimize their energy levels for their work as well. Those are probably the people that we get the most inquiries from now. But having said that, we do work with younger people. We do work with older people. We work with business owners. We work with people in corporate. We work with people who are airline pilots. So we've got a wide variety of clients because we're working with, I think, just over 135 clients at the moment. So I would say just inquire. We'll book a call. We'll have a chat. At the end of the day, we can get anyone in shape. It doesn't matter, your background, what sort of training you're doing at the moment. I'm confident that we can help you. So even though we target professionals, people in corporate, we're obviously not going to turn away anyone who we think we can help. But obviously it goes without saying we don't bring on everyone. If I don't think someone is a good fit for the program, or I don't think we've got the expertise to help them, then I will recommend them to someone else in the industry. As I said before, I've got a great network of people, coaching people in all sorts of different areas, from bodybuilding, photo shoots, triathlon, blood work, all that sort of stuff. How do I get into running? Well, I guess it would depend on your background in terms of sport, whether you've done any running in the past, what your body composition and body weight is like at the moment, because someone who is 75 kg, relatively lean with a good fitness background, used to play sport at school, the barrier to entry for running is going to be a lot lower versus someone who is 20 kg overweight. But let's assume that you're similar to someone that I've just mentioned there, the people that would come onto our program. I would say start with 2 15 to 20 minute runs per week. Let's say you did one on a Monday and one on Thursday. Give yourself a good 2 to 3 days of rest in between those runs. What I would do is take your age away from 180. That's going to allow you to calculate roughly your max aerobic heart rate. So let's say you were 30, 180 minus 30 is 150. For the duration of that 15 to 20 minute run, try and keep your heart rate below 150. That's going to allow you to build that aerobic base. It's going to keep the run low intensity, which means it's going to be relatively easy for you to recover from. And provided everything goes well and the body's feeling good and you're not picking up shin splints or injuries and things like that, hip or knee injuries or ankle injuries, slowly increase the volume over time. So take it up from 18 minutes twice a week to 21 minutes twice a week to 24 minutes, all the way up to 2 45-minute runs per week. And then you'll probably be in a good position to start doing potentially some speed work, some tempo work, or starting to aim for those longer runs on the weekend. The best way to get good at running is to build things up slowly. There's kind of this golden rule in running of not increasing your volume by more than 10% per week. I've always followed that myself, and I've always followed that with clients. And I have personally found myself, if I do jump up the volume too quickly, I do start to get little niggles in the lower body, injuries and things like that. And when people come to us with injuries, we ask them how they built up their running volume, what they've been doing, and they're just ascending way too quickly. They're doing way too much. So that's what I would recommend. But around that, I would definitely recommend doing strength training at least twice a week as well. So you can actually build strength in the lower body, make sure that you have a durable body, which is going to complement your running as well. I think that's a big mistake a lot of people make, is even if their goal is to not build muscle or improve body composition, they're just not supporting their running with strength training. It's really, really important. If you look at any of the best runners these days, whether that's, 5K all the way up to ultra marathons, they are all doing strength training. It's absolutely essential. Morning routine. So I'm assuming that means, what is your morning routine? If I'm honest, I don't have a solid morning routine. I think it is person dependent. I know some people that are very, very regimented with their time, their energy, and their routine in the morning. But for me, I would say it really just depends on what I've got on. So for example, tomorrow, Monday, is a heavy day of work for me. I'm not running in the morning. I'm probably going to train around 10, 11 a.m. So tomorrow I will literally get up at between 6 and half 6, depending on what time I get to bed tonight. I will get up, have a coffee, have some electrolytes, take my supplements, and then I'll sit down at my desk and I'll start doing my work. And that's what I like to do. I find that if I spend too much time procrastinating, doing things in the morning before I start work, it stresses me out. Again, whether that's right or wrong, it's definitely person dependent. But then on Tuesday and Wednesday, for example, I will run first thing. I'll probably check my phone in the morning. I'll see if there's anything I need to get back to, and I'll go and train. So I think it really depends on my training and what I've got on in terms of work. Some mornings I'll have a really early call with clients or potential new people coming onto the program in America. So sometimes I have to take calls at 5:30 and 6. But non-negotiables really are try and get between 7.5, sometimes 8 hours of sleep. Wake up between 5:30, 6, sometimes a little bit later if I've stayed up later. Hydrate, coffee in the morning, weigh myself, and then just get to work. That works for me. It allows me to minimize stress and it allows me to get on with my day. Like most people, I think we're more productive and more alert in the morning. So if I can tackle my first work block with a good amount of energy, then I'm happy. I think if I was, doing meditation, breath work in the morning, going for a long walk, I think it would stress me out more, to be honest. That's what works for me at the moment. It might change in the future, but for now it's fine with me. And I know some incredibly successful people making over £1 million a year that don't have a morning routine. And then conversely, I know some people who are very successful who don't even look at their phone until 11, 12. So I think it's just, it's person dependent, to be honest. That's working for me at the moment. Favorite and least favorite thing about Dubai. So that's obviously kind of two questions in one. Favorite, it's really hard to kind of choose one. So I'll give a few. It might give you a bit of more of an insight into the place, but I think just the environment that you're in, and I think you could break down environment into people. So for me, I am very fortunate to have an unbelievable network of people. Most of them are entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches who I've met through business mentorship programs over here. And if you're in the fitness space, you will know that it just attracts the best coaches in the world. Like I went on a run this morning with one of my mates, Ben Bray's probably got one of the biggest online coaching body transformation companies in the world. He's got over 500 clients. Like you just wouldn't be able to do that in the UK unless you live near them. Like, I can message someone and go and do that. Like I have loads of friends here that are doing incredibly well. And when you're around those people, it just makes you think bigger. I found that when I was in the UK and even in Spain, to be honest, even though there's some good coaches there, people just aren't thinking as big. They're not doing the same thing. So environment in terms of people is amazing. Weather, it goes without saying, between, I would say, October to the end of April, May is unbelievable as well. Like you can run outside for those months. You can sit outside in cafes, go to the beach. Like the weather's unbelievable. It barely ever rains. Obviously the summer is a little bit different, but to be honest, I've spent a good amount of time here in June this year already and August, and it's honestly not that bad. So I think going forward, I'm probably only going to go away for, I think probably between 5 and 6 weeks. So weather in terms of environment in terms of people, and just the culture of entrepreneurship and people pushing themselves, I think is amazing. And then if there was another one, it would have to be just the convenience factor of food, nutrition, facilities, just unbelievable gyms. It really is a health and fitness hub. It's amazing. Least favorite thing, it would probably just be the weather, to be honest. I think it is annoying that I can't really run outside for 3 months of the year, but first world problems at the end of the day. Genuinely, apart from that, there's not really other thing that I really, really dislike about it. The traffic is a bit of an issue, but I don't really drive in peak times. I tend to only drive to the gym probably midday, so it's not an issue. And then on the weekend, I'll usually drive to see my friends, do whatever we're doing, but it's really not an issue for me, and I'm quite happy to deal with it. How did you transition from PT to online? So kind of covered some of this earlier on in the video, but The actual transition was stimulated by my move to Dubai. So I moved in September 2022, pretty much almost 3 years ago. But I decided that I wanted to move in January that year. So it basically gave me 8 months to prepare, and I like to plan ahead. So I saved a load of finances because I knew it was going to be a very, very expensive move. Originally, the plan was to just come over here in PT and do a bit of online coaching and personal training. But I knew that obviously I was going to be losing all my clients in the UK gyms. I did actually manage to transition, I think, 4 of my personal training clients online, and they actually stayed with me, and we've still got some of them now, which is absolutely crazy. But the transition was basically, as I say, it was stimulated by the move. I had to go massively online when I moved, otherwise I wasn't going to be making any money. But as I said before, I did have a really good amount of online clients anyway. But I think 3 weeks before I moved, I signed up with my mentor, Mark Coles, who I'm actually working with again now. And he basically helped me accelerate everything, helped me really blow it up, him and his team. So I went from 30 clients to 50 clients in about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I think. So I went from earning not enough money to be able to live in Dubai based on income to being able to afford to be here. So I basically just kept it all online since then because things were so busy. I was doing so many check-ins, so many calls. I then hired a coach that worked for me as well. So I've not done any formal personal training since I moved over here. I do meet clients if they want to do a session just to give them that extra bit of support there. But yeah, that's basically what happened. And I think I was speaking to one of my mates about it, I think it was 2 days ago. I think it's very difficult to transition fully from PT to online if you are staying in the same location as where you're PTing, because PT, if you're a good coach and you've got a full client base, it's a really easy way to make probably £5,000 to £7,000 a month, and to give that away for online, which is definitely harder to grow, and the average price per customer is a lot less versus personal training. It's hard to do, so you almost have to be forced to do it. I think I don't really know many people that stayed in the UK that went from PT to fully online. A lot of people balance both, and I think balancing both is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. You're never going to be able to excel in one. So yeah, that's how I did it, but I think there is a full video on that on my channel somewhere. But yeah, that's the Q&A. I think 10 questions is probably enough. That's almost 28 minutes of footage here, but hopefully you've enjoyed it, taken something from it. Once a month, I'll probably do just a random Q&A like this, a bit of lifestyle, travel, fitness and nutrition and business. And then I might do separate videos on just training and just fitness. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer, just let me know.